I'll set up my camera as well, and I guess you can do the same.
So yeah, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to come. Um, Hello, I'm Elise. I'm the president of Catalyst. Um, Gabriel, you just closed the you just closed the slides. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Great. So I just want to go ahead and start off with a little bit of different types of etiquette. So for those of you that are watching on the stream, if you have any questions at any point, go ahead and put your questions in chat, and we will be sure to answer it. For anybody that has questions here, just wait until whoever is presenting that section to be done with their section. From there, you can go ahead and do push to talk and go ahead and just turn on your microphone. If you are having a problem with putting on your microphone in the push to talk, either privately message me and just send me your question, or feel free to put it inside the info session chat, whichever one is the easiest for you. Um, my secretary is right here, so he'll be monitoring my phone to see if there's anything that pops up. And yeah, we're going to go over, we're going to be talking about all the different sections of Catalyst, there's quite a bit. And essentially, yeah, that's basically it. So thanks again for taking the time on your Thursday to come here. I know it's almost final season, so the fact that anyone took the time to come here is very impressive. So thank you so much. And if anybody needs to go back over what the info session was, if you, let's say, missed the email or something of somebody, we this will be posted on Twitch, on our Twitch channel, and it's on our link tree. So yeah, it will be there for at least 14 days. So feel free to come back at any point onto our Twitch channel if you just want to rehear about some parts of Catalyst, or if you have a friend that wants to learn more, just feel free to send them the Twitch broadcast. Okay, so welcome to Catalyst. Our motto is STEM is for everyone. And that's one thing that we truly do want to go ahead and make more part of the cultural norm. So, Gabriel, could you go to the next slide? Perfect. So, Catalyst was something that I started in 2018. The story of Catalyst essentially comes out of the idea of wanting to go ahead and bring science more to different people. When I was 15 years old, I moved to Haiti. At that point, I had some improper conceptions of science, mostly due to the way that it's taught within the North American system. I was under the impression that it was not something I liked because science was always really put as an extra biology, which is not something I'm particularly interested in. So it wasn't until I moved in 2013, and took a electricity system class that I realized that physics is really something I was super interested in. And it was all because I happened to have a good teacher. Itself is able to show that the impact that you in as a member of Catalyst, you may feel like you're, going with the wind. You're just doing anything. You might not feel like you can necessarily see the impact of what you're doing right away. Just know there is enough to make you say subject to I love this, and there's a possibility that you could be that person. For me, I happened to be a part of a family that was really active in non-for-profits. So, when I was working with my family, I was able to go ahead and work with orphans, work with a lot of kids that were in different situations than myself when I was living in Haiti, but I also recognized that it was something that they may never get to experience. So we want to make sure that we're going ahead and allowing people that may not necessarily know about science or think that it's for them, know that it truly is for them. Next slide. Yeah, so at some point I knew I wanted to come back, go back to Haiti and, do something for science with kids, but, when is the right time to start teaching? When are you appropriately able to make a change in a world? You never really feel like you're ready. So what I kind of did in my meantime to go ahead and just pass the time, at least do something, was I was a part of the debate team where I went ahead and met one of our lovely Catalyst executives, Gabriel. I was a member of the debate team for 2 years. I also business development director of Space team. I also named a current student, and cool, thing. Uh, Gabriel, you go. I found Catalyst. So circumstances I went ahead and started Catalyst were strange. Essentially, in 2018, my uncle that I was living with for 3 years in Haiti got diagnosed and died of pancreatic cancer. So I went down to Haiti to, do what I could for the funeral. But honestly, what can I do? Nothing really. So what I said that I could do to go ahead and pass time, at least in a positive way, was, hey, I kept on saying I wanted to go ahead and teach kids in Haiti. Might as well get it done. So I went ahead and posted on a bunch of Facebook pages at Concordia and said, hey, I plan on going to Haiti next year. Who's coming with me? And from there, that's how we ended up picking up a bunch of Catalyst members, one of which is my secretary. He saw the Facebook post and he was like, hey, I'm new to Concordia. I don't know this girl, but trip to Haiti sounds good. And then now, he became a member of Catalyst. And that's essentially where Catalyst came from. It came from, I guess, a moment of desperation that turned into long-term moments of positivity. So, Catalyst has a lot of different goals, and we try to go ahead and essentially hit on what our target is by accomplishing all of these goals. Mentorship, spreading knowledge, diversity, donations, and events. Next slide. So mentorship is important because honestly, representation is all it takes to go ahead and make someone that thought that they couldn't do something feel like they can. In my example, I didn't think that I could be, an astronomer or a physicist when I was younger because I was being told by my family that this isn't something that people of color do. And just seeing in 2015, Jedidah Eisler, who was the first black woman to get a PhD in an Ivy League in astrophysics, I was like, you know what? Like, even if you guys say that black people don't do this, there's proof that we do. So mentorship is like really something that we believe in because it could be what it takes to get somebody that feels super unconfident over that hurdle, and it kind of helps us go ahead and plug in the holes in the leaky pipeline that is the STEM mechanism. Next slide. We like to spread knowledge. That's really what our outreach programs focus on. We try to go ahead and make sure that we're spreading knowledge in a way that is conducive to the populations that we're working with. It's really important to go ahead and make sure that you're connecting the dots between somebody's life and someone's education, especially when you're trying to get them inspired. So we spread knowledge not only through fun and interactive outreach activities, we also make sure we're doing activities that might actually change somebody's life in a way. So for example, for the next trip that we have planned to Haiti, the physics team is going to go ahead and teach the kids how to make a crank flashlight. As electricity is something that is hard to come by in Haiti, sometimes you don't have it for days at a time. Going ahead and showing them, hey, science is cool because it can actually make sure that you can see around your house, that you do your homework, on school days, to make sure that you can charge any type of devices you have in your home. Showing that this is what we're bringing to them could be what it takes to make them get to the next level. Diversity. Essentially, we try to be both role models and work with the groups that need role models. I have seen quite often when I look at different organizations that do STEM outreach that it's very boxed in. It's, women in STEM or Black Boys Code or just kind of really making it a bit specific, and especially when you end up being somebody that is intersectional, it might not seem like you have anywhere to essentially fit in. Okay, I'm a woman, but I feel like some of the problems I'm facing are on the basis of me being a woman and being a person of color, or maybe it's because I'm disabled and I'm queer. So, like, how are these groups going to really help my experience? So, at Catalyst, we really want to focus on working with all of the different types of underrepresented students, by working with people of color, women, queer, and students with disabilities. As especially this is my experience, as I am a queer woman of color that is disabled. I think it's really important that we're saying that, hey, we never turn down anybody that wants to learn about STEM. If you happen to not hit on one of the things that Canada necessarily sees as a priority, it doesn't mean that your experience is invalid, and we want to still go ahead and support you. uh, Donations. So yeah, we really like donating. Fun fact: Catalyst as a group actually has a scholarship here at Concordia. When we get extra donations, we want to give back to the community in any way we can. We do this in a plethora of ways. For example, when we went to Haiti last time, we brought laptops there. So now the kids are actually able to go ahead and learn more about computer literacy. It's going to be a significant impact on their life because in conjunction, we also gave them low-level scripting books in French. So the kids are now going to have the opportunity to go ahead and have probably better experiences within their future, and might actually be able to work in different fields in Haiti, because just having a laptop is honestly a luxury, and that might be what it takes to go ahead and put them over, over the roof. We also like to give different types of items. We gave a bunch of backpacks and stuff last time we went. T-shirts, clothes, etc. Just we want to go ahead and help out any way we can, and may it even be just giving our time. No matter what, we just want to give back to the community, and both here within Concordia, internationally, or at the school next to your house. And finally, events. We love events. So we have a Blender workshop actually coming up tomorrow. We also just enjoy doing all these different types of events. We organized an event last semester about queer women within the gaming industry. We also went ahead and hosted a documentary screening that day, as well as taught people how to make their own video game. Before the pandemic started, we also had another event where we raised money to go ahead and have 15 different communities have access to clean water. We had a gallery at the University of and we raised a lot of money. We have all the filters here, and we're going to go ahead and bring them to Haiti. It gave both us opportunity to contribute to something cool, learn a little bit about the infrastructure situation in Haiti, and also just look at some cool art that was made by different types of students. And yeah, it was a pretty cool night. We learned about Haitian history, etc. Learned about how the earthquake impacted infrastructure, and it was a good way to go ahead and commemorate the 10-year anniversary of the Haitian earthquake. So, Catalyst. Cool. So here are all the different people of our executive team. Some of them won't be here today just due to work, but I'm not sure if I introduced myself, but I'm Celeste Morris. I am a fourth-year student in physics. I'm about to finish in a month. I'm also the president of Space Concordia, and this is my life's work. I'll let Gabriel and the rest of everybody go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. I think we'll all have our own sections later on, but just to let you know, my name is Gabriel. My partner Mimi, I don't think she's here right. Oh, yeah, she is. Hey, Mimi. So we're part of the social media team. We'll talk more about it later on. Let's see if someone else just wants to say hi.
I guess, Shiva or Arvind.
Hey everyone, I'm Shiva, and I'm the Vice President of Mentorship at Catalyst.
Hi everyone, I'm Waleed, as Elise mentioned. I am the VP Internal and the Secretary of Catalyst.
And Aglaya.
Gaia, I'm in the education team, the executive education, and yeah.
Amazing. Great. Oh, and this was a picture of us in Haiti. The beach is really nice there, so that's just a little heads up. If you go to Haiti, you get to go to pretty cool beaches.
But it's just a heads up. The next slide is about the different roles and titles.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah, I
different-
know. Okay. So yeah, a lot of these are going to be covered by different people, but here's just what Catalyst is working on. A lot of different things. So communications, some of these are going to be covered. I'll go over the ones that won't be, and then I'll leave it to everybody else to go ahead and explain. So communications is the section of Catalyst that goes ahead and builds up connections. The way that we like to go ahead and do our outreach is by collaborating with different organizations. It's really beneficial for us, for them, and for the general non-for-profit sector to not really be stepping on the heads of other people. If there's somebody that is able to, or that already has an audience that they're reaching out to and it's of interest to us, let's say, if we're really interested in reaching out to Black girls at risk of dropping out, if there's already an organization for that, why should we go ahead and build this whole new contact list? Let's just work directly with the other organizations and lend our services. So communications goes ahead and reach both in Montreal and Saskatchewan organizations as we are going and expanding and we are getting new chapters. So in just collaboration and all that different type of stuff. Education is going to be covered. Social media is going to be covered. Research. There's a lot of different opportunities at Concordia to go ahead, get paid for different types of work. Something I worked on in 2019, I got a grant from the experiential learning section, and with that, I went ahead and did research in 2019 and types of way of running curriculums. Well as we studied to see what was the teaching in Haiti, what impact it have there. So if you're interested in stuff really possible engineers, but if you have worked in sector, education sector, all of these have a lot of work done. For example, we want to learn more about the state of the area that we work with in Haiti to see if we and adapt the curriculum to be better for teaching biology and agriculture that would be beneficial for that specific climate. So, if anyone's interested in that kind of thing, that's what you can work on. There's also the prison project. We're going ahead and getting grants for people that are working within the prison project sector right now. And for the prison project, you might want to go ahead and see what is the current state of affairs for people that are in prison when they get released. What is their average wage? See afterwards, hey, after they're done going through working with us for prison project, is the average wage of people that work in our program higher than average? So, and that's really good for the anti-carceral sector. A lot of people are really interested in those kind of statistics. So if you want to work a little bit more in the humanities way, you can get started there. And essentially, we really want to go ahead and encourage the DIY, think of what you want to do, what are you passionate about, go ahead and do it type of way. Event organizer, we're always holding different types of fundraisers. We're also holding all types of events. We want to make sure that we're holding events that are good for all different types of ages, all different types of demographics. So, one night we might go ahead and have a workshop for learn how to use React JavaScript, but then the next week we might just go ahead and host a movie night. The next week we might just go ahead and host maybe a panel. So if anybody's creative, if anybody has any ideas, we already have some things that we're thinking of. We're thinking about hosting a panel about why have some people decided to leave the STEM sector. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, please join. International, that will be covered. Regina, that's for essentially helping the new chapter starting up. So if you want to see kind of what it looks like building on the ground up, what it looks like to go ahead and establish like to go ahead and reach out to administration. What is it like to figure out what your brand is going to be? If any of that stuff is interesting to you, then I suggest that you look at it. Local outreach is covered, acquisitions covered, prison finance is covered. Prison Project is essentially I have been working in the prison sector for about the last year now, and I realized that a lot of people, once they come out of prison, are not able to actually sustain themselves. It's really, it's very negative. It's really bad for recidivism. It really ends up adding to the stigma. People say, oh, people that come out of prison are so violent. Why keep on going to prison? But if nobody's hiring them, how are they supposed to sustain themselves? So we want to go ahead and kind of do what we can. Especially since we are a STEM advocacy organization and we have so many people that have experience with coding. We want to go ahead and give a hand and teach these prisoners how to code, so when they come out they can get freelance contracts and maybe even land as something as startup, basically be able to sustain themselves, so that we don't have 50-year-old men that can't afford food after being in prison for 25 years. It's a human rights issue, and it's really important to do what we can for that. And then the last one that's not here is we also have management. We are currently in the process of it's right. You beat me to it. So it's essentially helping with the background stuff. We are in the process of becoming a registered non-for-profit. From there, it'll be essentially the overarching structure that's going to be looking over all of the divisions, China division, the Concordia division, and we're also speaking a little bit to the University of North Carolina, so they may have their own division. And essentially, it's more of the more business aspects of it, building overarching budget, building overarching brand strategy. It's thinking bigger. It's also the section in which you'll be focusing more on the long-term goal rather than the day-to-day goal. So as locally, like the Concordia chapter just like, oh, I want to make sure that we're teaching at least 3 schools. Us as the overarching structure, we're going to say we want to make sure that we're at least interacting with 8,000 different people per year, and speaking to at least 10 high schools with the entire organization. Getting at least 3 people to apply for our scholarship, etc. So it's a lot more of a management type of, why it's called management. But if you have any plans of ever going ahead and starting doing your own startup, building your own for profit, it's really good that you go ahead and check out this section, because we have actually just been hosted at the District 3 Startup Incubator. So we're pretty serious. We have our business plan laid out, and we're just essentially executing it. And if anyone is interested in working at Catalyst as perhaps a job, or an internship, or as a part-time employee one day, this might be something you get involved with. And I will pass it to anybody else. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. Like I said, my name is Gabriel. Just to present myself for a bit. I already graduated from Concordia University last year, right about when the pandemic hit. I'm actually a major in political science and a minor in linguistics, so that's not really STEM field, but me as a person of color, I'm actually Latino, as you can tell by my voice. And as a member of the LGBT community, of course, I believe in Catalyst's mission statement. And when my beloved friend Louise asked me to join Catalyst, knowing that I could help out with social media. Of course, I jumped in and said yes. And now I'm glad that I met Mimi, my partner in crime. So we're both managing the social media. I hope you've seen we were now on Discord, on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere. There's a nice linked tree, that's what it's called, with all the links where you can join us everywhere. So we try to really reach out everyone and everywhere. And I've seen a steady increase of followers, of likes, so I'm really happy about it. We like to make posts celebrating women, people of color. Recently, we did post about Black History Month. We'd love to advertise more of our events, but because of the pandemic, we haven't had many in-person events. So we're trying to celebrate Catalyst in a different way. So yeah, we like to advertise this. We're always looking for more partnerships. So we're not only the only team that believes in diversity and such in Concordia or in Montreal. So we do have a lot of friends. So we like to share their posts, they share ours, but we're always in the lookout for new partnerships. And we're also trying to set up the survey section of social media. So like you probably heard, tomorrow we have a Blender workshop. So we're probably gonna send out surveys on how we can further reach people, how we can further help them, and maybe even afterwards we'll personally try to send a survey to each of you to ask how you want to help us, if you're still interested, how you're still interested, and what your skills would be. But listen, if you're interested in social media, the Catalyst team is growing, so we do need more members. So if you do have some experience managing social media, which I'm sure some of you all have, please let us know. For me, I used to be the president of the Concordia Debate Society. That's where I met Melise. And I was pretty much in charge of the social media. So that's when I started getting good at it, and that's when Melise asked me in the first place. So yeah, we want to have you. We hope you're excited as we are. And Mimi, I'm not sure your microphone is working, but if you want to add something or not, maybe just say.
Hi, I'm Nerman, but you can call me Mimi. It's going to be easier for everyone. Well, you pretty much summed up everything. I just wanted to mention that the Google form that most of you answered, I took a look at some of the replies on the people that wanted to join social media, and I saw that there's a lot of people that are actually motivated and that actually have some experience and they want to join. So honestly, you're more than welcome. We need as much help as we can. Like Gabrielle said and Emily's, we're growing, we're becoming like we're bigger now, and so the more the merrier. And welcome.
Welcome. I thought I moved this to the end, but I guess it's here, so you can go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. So, as I already said, I'm Aglaya. I'm an international student in Concordia from the beautiful and chaotic Brazil. I'm graduated in education, so I graduated in Brazil, and now I'm doing my second undergrad in linguistics, and my minor in political science, the opposite of Gabriel. His evil twin. No, just kidding. So basically, I'm here to talk about the education team. So in education, we have many projects and things going on, but all of them has as the main goal to offer quality educational experiences in STEM, and that is a diverse range of contexts and ages and people. As Melise already said, there is the Prison Project, for example, that is a project to audit in prison about coding. But then there are also projects with kids in school. So it's really for a very diverse range of education experiences. Basically, the team has to build effective STEM curriculums. And I say curriculums in the plural because, as I said, it's for a very diverse range of ages and contexts in education. We plan classes and activities we also do research in effective methodologies for STEM. No, wait, can you come back? Sorry. Thanks. And also, we are starting to do pedagogical training. So, starting to prepare more workshops and materials for that. So, basically, we have internal education, which is the pedagogical trainings to the team in Catalyst. So, we plan workshops on teaching methodologies and principles, also meetings for educational questions and issues. So we have to be available to people who have questions. So like I was teaching this class and this happened, and how can I make that better? How can I solve this issue in education more specifically? Then we are there to help them. I like to think as an exchange of knowledge. So because a lot of people here are experts in STEM, but don't necessarily know the class or don't necessarily knowledge in pedagogical practices and be a very expert in a field, but that doesn't mean you're going to give a meaningful and effective class. And by effective, I mean a class where the students don't learn every single detail of what you say, but where they get excited and interested about that subject, where that makes sense to them, where they can see themselves doing that for real. So that's basically what we want to help people learn about how to create a class like this, how to plan a effective class. Okay, now you can go on. Thank you. So then we also have the research team in pedagogical theories. So basically that's a project that I'm actually starting. So I'm planning to gather as many theories, interesting theories for STEM more specifically, and principles, and gather them all together into some, let's say, a small guide for whoever is new in teaching. So that's something we're starting. And basically, kind of research methodologies for STEM teaching for more effective and interesting teaching practice. So besides that, we also have material gathering. So basically, it's putting together material on education and pedagogical information. So basically, the research that I said on making like this small guide for whoever doesn't have much experience with teaching, that's also part of material gathering. But besides that, bringing teaching and learning to examples in small documents to read, to help them plan ideas of more teaching, more interest of teaching, gathering ideas. Breakers is very broad. It will always be depending on the context, on the students. It's always important to have as much ideas as much as you can. We're planning any specific situation, learning experience, context. So it's we work with whoever is teaching those projects. So like the prison project or the teaching project Haiti. So basically, we're helping who is going to teach their curriculum and are going to happen, what they're going to say, what things are more interesting to teach, not so interesting for that specific class. So it's really helping them plan the whole teaching experience to be the best learning experience the students, and also build the curriculum for the STEM. So future of a curriculum set. So like those subjects to teach, and for each subject we have is already like gathered. So that's something that we also need help with. We also need help to. So that's basically what we're doing in education. And if you follow pedagogical practices, or even you know a lot of STEM and wants to learn, I will get like experience. Help is, so yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rinda Robinson. I am an anthropology student and for finance of Catalyst. Let's talk about things that we do here in finance investment.
Maybe if I turn on my phone, then. Oh, sorry. All right. So, should we just skip it or?
Hello, everyone. My name is Arvind, and I'm the Vice President of Catalyst. I'm also a student like Melise, and that's how we met. And also from graduating this year. And I've been in Catalyst now, and yeah, I'm in charge of the mentorship program here. So what is the objective and what do we do in the mentorship program? So our main goal is to basically help younger students from school and CJEP. So currently we're focused on CJEP, but it's younger students who want to be university in STEM who are underrepresented in some way. So it could be like minority groups. It could be people of color, sexual minorities, LGBTQ, right? Because and we want to encourage them. We want to guide them towards a career in STEM, right? Because we all know like how when we first started university, for a lot of us, we wish we knew certain things, right? Like there's certain like mental health services, student services, all kinds of like like career ideas or study guide, work-life balance. There's a lot of things that we weren't familiar with, and through trial and error, through going through our classes, meeting other people, we learned a lot of these things, and eventually we get better at them, and we become good at school. We become good at school basically. And these things are often not as easy for people who come from underrepresented backgrounds. For someone, for example, who a parent who went to college, or someone comes from a really poor background where not many people that he knows, not many people that are his friends or his peers have been to college. So for many people from these backgrounds, it's not always an obvious thing of how to balance their life, go to college and succeed in college, especially in STEM. So that's kind of where we come in. That's kind of what our goal is to kind of be their mentor, be their friend, and be their guide in a way, and then inspire them, give them a passion to pursue STEM, and sort of give them encouragement, tell them that it's okay, that they can succeed as well. So yeah, we want to help them So we want to help them familiarize with university life. We want to help them, find their work-life balance. And it's usually people who are younger than us, so CJEP students, 16, 17-year-olds. And currently we're in talk with Vanier. So we're trying to talk with them, trying to recruit mentees from there. And we'll see how that goes, and hopefully we get some mentees there. So what your goal will be in this will be to basically guide young students using your knowledge and your empathy to listen to them, help them, tell them what you know about university, tell them what you know about studying, managing your stress, mental health, and just provide them with that sort of knowledge and information about college. So you're expected to sort of meet them in group meetings or one-to-one meetings. Sorry, can you go back? Yeah. So you're expected to meet them in group meetings, one-to-one meetings, and hopefully once a month, maybe more, maybe depending on what your schedule is like. But I'm somewhat flexible here. But I would like if you could meet them at least once a month. Keep in touch with them through whatever medium is good for you. Discord, Facebook, emails. And currently, due to COVID, it's a bit hard to meet in person. But I would encourage, as things get better, that we meet up in person and that we do activities in person, whether it's lunch or lab tours or just any activities that are STEM related or not even STEM related. You don't even have to be necessarily in STEM, but currently the program is more on STEM. So anyways, we'll see about that. I'm flexible on that too. And so we're always looking for more mentors. We're looking for more people to join our ranks. We need help with everything all the time. And so you can contact me at mentorship@catalystoutreach.com. Questions, or if you want to join, I can send you a form, and you can be part of the team. And yeah, that's it.
All right. So on the side of internal affairs, I guess I'll present myself. My name is Waleed. A founding member of Catalyst. I'm doing my third year in anthropology and biology. I'm doing a double major, and I am the VP internal secretary and pretty much the person who does what the president tells me to do. So I'll go over the responsibilities of people who want to work under the section. Basically everything from organizing meetings to editing the constitution, organizing team bonding events during recruitment. Introducing new members of the organization also falls to me. As I said, other tasks as attributed by the president, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I have to be involved with. Communicating with the Concordia Student Union, organizing member trainings, and also recruitment. So mainly the work to be done in this section would be human resource wise, so really helping to keep a record of any meeting, arbitrating conflicts between members, filling out administrative paperwork, and as I said, still anything the president requires in terms of miscellaneous tasks would also be something to be done under this section. So if you are someone who is interested in administrative work, you want to do an internship, you actually want it to count as a working experience, please contact me. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. And as for the minimum time required, it's really up to you. As much as you want to be involved, 2 hours per week is a good minimum to start with, but there's a lot of work to be done, and the more the merrier. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about some of the other sections, mainly the other divisions, because Catalyst is a 3-division organization. A lot of the things that we talk about, essentially, a lot of people end up helping different divisions, but specifically we have our local outreach, international outreach, and mentorship division. So let's look a little bit at local. So local outreach essentially looks like organizing basically anything that goes on within Montreal. So what you as a local outreach member would end up doing honestly depends on what you're interested in, but what it all boils down to is trying to reach different students of different backgrounds across Montreal. Both within our university, so we do want to go ahead and provide interesting events for people that go to Concordia, but we also want to go ahead and provide interesting events for people outside of Concordia. As I mentioned before, we had a panel from some people from Gameloft, Ubisoft, EA, and a couple of other indie video game companies that were talking about their experiences as queer women within the industry. As you see in the bottom right, that was our video game learning how to make your own 2D game workshop. And as you see in the bottom left, we were supposed to be having a networking day that we were going to do right before the pandemic happened, and we really tried to encourage some of our multiple principals as much as possible. So as you see in the bottom left, our VP Finance is wearing traditional clothing from her country, and we were essentially going to go ahead and hold a networking event where everybody wears the clothing that is considered business casual for your country. And yeah, it was going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, like, things had to get moved around, but these are the types of events that you can expect from Catalyst, as well as just quickly mention as well. Last semester, Waleed went ahead and gave a lesson over at was it a school?
It was a middle school, basically. I went ahead and basically talked about climate change, kind of presented what is climate change, how can you help as a student, to some 6th and 7th grader, and it was a lot of fun. They learned, I gave them activities, and I spent pretty much half a day there, talked to them, talked to the teacher, gave them resources, and said that if they wanted anything else, they could always contact us again. We'd be more than happy to come back.
And for myself, I went ahead and collaborated with the National Society of Black Physicists, and I gave a talk over at some elementary school in Georgia, I believe. So I spoke to like some 10, 11-year-olds about what it's like to be a physicist, what you learn. I gave some, they asked me some questions about some things that they learned in their class, and I tried to not tell them that that's not actually helpful for anything. So, I really science communicationed it up. We also want to go ahead and collaborate a bit with Skype a Scientist. So for anybody that is here that is in a level beyond their bachelor's, we will be able to go ahead and pair you up with different schools across the world to talk a little bit about what it's like to be in your field. We do all different types of local outreach. I call that one local just because it's from your house, but yeah, it's not technically local. So yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff that we do. Okay, so mentorship and international outreach. Move to the next part because we did speak a little bit about mentorship already. Here are some pictures and examples of our experience in Haiti. We get invited as Catalyst members to go to a lot of different types of functions. We got essentially invited to give a keynote talk at Vanier College last year, I believe. 2019. We have some of the different members that went to Haiti, including myself, that spoke about our experience, and it was pretty cool. And we do actually end up, after every trip, we have the opportunity to really do like a media circuit. So, next time we go to Haiti, we'll probably be invited to go and give a talk on CBC again. We've been on CBC several times, and you guys might be able to get a little bit of a media and Google hits just off of doing stuff with us. The bane of our existence is our international trip. As I went ahead and explained, Catalyst started off as an organization that was working on doing stuff in Haiti. So this is a video of our time in Haiti, and I'll just let Gabriel play the clip, and then we'll talk about it.
I don't think it'll work if I couldn't make the other thing work.
No, it's different. The other one was a Google Drive link. This is YouTube.
Alright, let's try it out. But just in case, I posted it on the Discord channel as well.
Okay.
Alright, let's try.
Okay, I can hear it. Okay, so it worked. So essentially, the trip to go to Haiti is quite intensive. There's a lot of work that goes into it. We brought 14 students with us along for the trip in 2019. And essentially, over the course of the year, we went ahead and raised about $17,000. We got a bunch of money in donations, in both in-kind and monetary sponsorship. And all of it ended up accumulating into this little report. I see that the full data isn't there, so let me just go ahead and pull it up on my phone. But essentially, we went ahead and checked in with the kids to see, hey, what was their experience with STEM ahead of time? How many people were already somewhat scientifically literate and computer literate? We were able to see when we tested this that 80% of the kids had never used a computer before, that almost like 90%, wait, no, let me do that properly. 84% of the kids were not actually able to answer any of the questions related to STEM. And when we asked the kids, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Only 9.2 of them anything related to STEM, and related they put medicine, so I'll say that's related. So yeah, it was pretty interesting to see what was their current state of mind when we went ahead and started everything, because by the time we left, we were actually able to get quite different numbers. So I'm just pulling it up for myself right here since I have it on my phone. One moment. Okay, yeah, so by the time we left, 87% of the kids were able to go ahead and answer all of the questions that we had asked at the beginning of the week. So we asked them questions like, what's an acid, what's a base, do you know what structure is, do you know what stability is, what's force, etc. So 87% of the kids were able to answer all the questions 2 months after our time of going and teaching. And 65% of the kids did go ahead and give answers saying that they were interested in doing something within the STEM field. So if we're able to go ahead and make impact like that within a week, imagine what kind of impact we can make with all of you guys. So yeah, you're essentially helping out with changing a lot of different people's perspectives on STEM, maybe even changing a lot of lives. Our whole goal is to make sure that we can go ahead and allow people to get a career within something that's actually able to lift them out of the poverty cycle. So by your involvement in Catalyst, you are helping perhaps take quite a few of these kids out of the poverty cycle, especially since, as we said, we do scholarships and stuff. So our long-term goals are to go ahead and raise money to allow the kids to go ahead and go to university within Haiti. And we really want to make sure that we're helping both within international communities and here as well. And that's why we also have the scholarship at Concordia, to allow someone that needs the money to go to university to actually be able to pay for it. Could you go to the next slide? Yeah, so just I want to go ahead and just note a couple of things before we go ahead and ask questions. So one thing is, being part of Catalyst, you'll be able to go ahead and put this on your co-curricular record. So for anyone that at any point wants to go ahead and put this type of stuff under your co-curricular record is pretty helpful for, let's say, at the end of your university career, if you want to go ahead and apply for medals, or if you want to make sure that companies know when you're applying for jobs that you were actually involved in university, your co-curricular record is something that you're able to give. So yeah, we are able to provide that. As well as Catalyst is just something really interesting to a lot of different companies, and not saying that's not why you should get involved in Catalyst, but Catalyst is interesting to a lot of companies to see that you're doing things outside of yourself. So yeah, you'll be able to gain a lot of different types of experience working with us, since we are essentially, if you want to get involved on a club level, it's like being involved in a really intense club. If you want to get involved on a more serious level, you get to see essentially what the startup process looks like. So thank you all of you guys that stuck around. You get to be part of this wild ride. So yeah, thank you for doing that. And if you just give me one moment, I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen. Go ahead and show Rin's video about it's just because, as I've mentioned, for international, there is quite a lot that goes into the monetary side of Catalyst. We do have to actually raise quite a bit of money, so it's definitely something that we want to be emphasized. So I'm just going ahead and booting that up. But while I'm doing that, if anyone does have any questions at the moment, and if you know how to use push-to-talk, feel free to go ahead and ask your question, just because we did see in the forum that quite a few people did want clarifications on different sections of Catalyst. So does anyone have any questions for now? And if anyone doesn't entirely know how to use push-to-talk, if you go ahead and put it in any of the chats that you're able to access, or if you want to just privately message me your question, that works too. So I'm just gonna check that. Otherwise, just feel free to unmute yourself. I'm still just running by now. I don't know. Okay.
Are you gonna stream it, Melise? Maybe it's better to just talk about what you know.
Oh, Ren's here right now, actually.
Hey, Rin.
Hey, Ren.
She's there. She can.
Do you want Ren? Do you want to just go and talk about finance then? Because my computer isn't liking me.
I hope your microphone works, my Rin.
I was trying to like stay in the corner and not speak. Okay, trying. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. How dare you expose me, by the way. Finance. Can you show up the slide? What I have about? Alright, so you know me as Rin. My name is Rin Radapantuling, and I am an undergrad biology student. I'm basically the only finance here in Calais, and this is the first year that we trying to recruit someone. New here is mainly like reimbursement. That's what we basically do. You're collecting stuff, and then you're finding claims to many funding organizations. So you will have to interact with many kind of people and many like different professionalism. Yeah. Then okay, and the next one. So basically, there's a lot of stuff going on. You can forget some time, and then finance team are responsible to like record anything that happened in Calais. Really, also for like future references. Then there's events going on and all that, like international fundraising or like outreaching and all. We have to be the team that providing any financial counseling. Like, for example, I just to say that, oh, you can buy this, you can buy that, you can't, or something like that. Give them like conditions of like how they operating things if it like comes to like buying stuff, basically. So all the money stuff. Then we have sponsorship, which is the newest one that just got merged into finance. I'm gonna be supervising this part. Sponsorship team basically reaching out to companies and organizations so that we can get more funds. It never be enough. Like, we have a lot more activities coming, hopefully. And yeah, so more funds. This department, I'm planning to like, if any of you interested in this, I will need your time at least just 2 hours a week. That might be more during like the what do you call that, the months that we are reactive in the club's activities and everything. So that's pretty much it for finance.
Yeah, so that works. Yeah, so thank you, but also questions. Does anyone have any questions? Because like, yeah, it's good to know. If no one does have questions, so I just want to go ahead and give like a little bit of a preface as to what you should be doing from now. So essentially, if you know exactly what you're interested in now, and you know exactly what you're trying to do, then I want you to go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so workflow. Okay, so let me just go open this wider for anyone that's on to be able to see properly. Okay, 1 second. So my scene lost. Let me just refix that. Okay, it's fine. I'll just do it like this. Cool. So you're already in the server. You know what you're interested in. Cool. You should have already went ahead and clicked on this. I just want to make just clear. We do have a set of rules. So just please make sure you're paying attention to the rules. Yeah. There. You can go ahead and essentially, if you know what you want to do and you don't need any further help, just go ahead and unclick this so that you're no longer in the channel, because that would be for like the next info session that we hold. Now, in terms of chapter, I assume that if you're here, you are in Concordia. Only choose the school that you go to. So if you go to Concordia, click on this. If you want to work with these, that's fine, but don't click on it. If you don't want to commit to a chapter, that essentially means that you're just super casual and you're just going to be doing like, you know, like tasks here and there. But if you plan on being like an actual member, you know, if you actually want to get on the co-curricular record, etc., please go ahead and click ConU. If you don't go to Concordia but you're interested, click interested in starting a chapter, and then I will have a conversation with you. Now for this essentially is something that you'll go ahead and choose, and essentially it just helps with having conversation with you. Let's say if somebody has a question related to your field, they're able to do the @engineering, and it helps them go ahead and have a conversation that's specifically in engineering. And then most importantly is roles. So here are all the list of the roles. If essentially anything was unclear from here, or if you need to be reminded of anything, please like look through this, and then from there go ahead and check your roles. And then essentially what would be good for you to do is you now will have access to a bunch of new work channels. Let's say if you chose management, now the management work channel will be open for you. So if you could go ahead and say, hi guys, I'm new here, and it'll help us realize like that there's a bunch of new people in that channel, and then we'll go ahead and like host like individual meetings with you guys. So like let's say there's 2 of you that end up joining the management channel, I'll just have a conversation with like the 2 of you and we'll coordinate like that. Or even if it's like, if everything was so clear to you and you don't really need any further elaboration, then what you need to do from there is just this. So have a couple of things that you once you're in work. So you need to go ahead and do this. You say, you go there to ClickUp and you just say, you go into ClickUp and you just say, hey guys, I need a ClickUp account. ClickUp. ClickUp is a project management website. It's a website, it's an app, but I will suggest to you only your computer. The interface on your phone is awful and it's not very intuitive. So just use the browser app, or use the web app, or use the browser. And essentially, it will be where we go ahead and assign tasks to you. So essentially, like if you check here, you'll see that we go ahead and tell people, okay, so like this is your task for the week. So if you ever are confused as to what you're supposed to be doing, ClickUp will always have something in there. Or if you ever end up doing all your tasks and you're like, oh, I want to do more work, go on ClickUp, and that's where you'll be assigned to a new task. We do not go ahead and assign tasks or have conversations about tasks in Discord. We might like have a meeting and say, hey, like who wants to take up these tasks, but we will go ahead and do all the updating on ClickUp, because ClickUp sends messages to whoever your supervisor is to let them know that you've done new things. Whereas I don't want to go ahead and look through a whole bunch of different Discord messages and all the different channels. I'd rather just go on ClickUp and where it says, Nate has updated his task, and then I can check. And we have all of our trainings on there. We have all of the different types of it's all your forms are on there. If you need to do reimbursements. Somebody has echo.
Yeah. That's odd. It was fine before.
It was Ren. I can see her. Yeah, I see you. That's suspicious. Look. Okay. Essentially, all your work will be done on ClickUp. We'll go ahead and coordinate meetings with you if we need to go ahead and elaborate anything further. If anybody ever has any ideas, if anybody has any connections to certain organizations, if you're like, hey, you should really reach out to this one organization, it's going to be really helpful for your work, let us know. We always want to build new collaboration. We always go ahead and encourage creativity. So if you ever have an idea, let us know. And essentially, I guess that's it in terms of just kind of how is our Discord set up. I'm not sure if there's a bit of an issue with people being able to turn on microphones, or just no one has any questions. Unfortunately, this doesn't have the feature for you to do the up down raise thing. So could someone just PM me so I know that that my sound is working outside of execs, and can someone just say I don't have questions if no one has questions, because I recognize push to talk is what's on, and some people might just not know how to use push to talk.
Or maybe people prefer to send you a message privately, but you already told them that you're willing to answer them privately.
Oh, okay, then yeah, maybe that's just it. So just once again, these are all of your execs. So if you have any questions that pertain to a very specific exec, go ahead and reach out. Iglai is education. Gabriel is social media. I am the president. Rin is finance. Shiva's mentorship. Waleed is on the floor, and that's I see one person has their microphone off. Did you have a question?
No, I was just gonna verify you that we were hearing you.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, then everything sounds good. So essentially, that's our info session. Thanks for coming. Once again, all this stuff will be on Twitch. So just go ahead. We have a link tree. So our Twitches are on our link tree. So if you ever want to go ahead and just show anybody that you know that this club exists, or let them know about specific sections of the club, check out the link tree. Great. So if that's all, then that's all. It was great.
I have a question.
Oh, we have a question?
Yes. Did you talk about the event that's about to happen?
The one tomorrow?
Yes, and the rest.
So just as a heads up, and we really encourage that you guys come, it'll be done the same format, either in here or you can check it out on Twitch. We're going to be having a Blender workshop. For anyone that doesn't know what Blender is, it's helpful for you if you're into animation and design. It's also very helpful to you if you're interested in things like video games or simulations. So I use Blender for video game sets, and I also use Blender for doing physics simulations for different presentations I do. So if anybody wants to go ahead and learn a bit more about that service or that software, you can go ahead and download Blender on Google. It's an open source platform. It's an open source application, so you can get it for free. And it'll be taught by the same person that taught our video game workshop. He has a animation and design degree, so he'll be able to give a pretty good and thorough background. He's also a CJEP teacher, so you get to have bask in his glory for the low price of $0. It will also be on Twitch, and yeah, it's a really cool software to use. I use it for my hackathons, so I often choose to make a video game for a hackathon. So if anyone wants to go ahead and maybe one up your hackathon skills, we'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. And yeah, that's and then we also have other things that we're planning on doing about why people may be leaving the industry, about the medical field, all the different types of people that are in the medical field that you don't typically see. And then we also are still in the works of doing a workshop about the science behind natural hair, because you know, some people have different hair types, and it's really hard for us to figure out how to deal with it. I have been natural for the last 5 years, and I still don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, if anybody else here is confused as to why your hair does that in the morning, they'll be there for that. So cool. Just I guess look out for our event schedule. We go ahead and have our system bot that does let people know when events are coming up. We should be having our next movie night next weekend, for example. We will probably be voting on it quite soon as to what are we going to watch. Last week was Mean Girls. We'll see what we go for this time. So yeah, I guess I hope to work with all of you soon. And thank you so much for taking the time to sit here and listening to my rambles for the last hour and a half.
It's good.
Thank you.
Glad to see you, everyone. Goodbye. Good night.
Night.
Bye, everyone.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bro.